Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to Channel Sport on Sunday. We're back, and I hope you guys will get the feeling of Channel Sport. Our CC and Co have done a great job keeping you on your toes and making you feel part of the Channel Sport on Sunday family. But then we continue from there, and that is what we want to do today. It can't come in a better time because two big stories that are taking place. One just ended, and the other is almost there. But you can't write this script. You can't do anything. You can't do anything about them because when you sit down to compute, when you sit down to say what are the odds, that will make this and this happen, when the result now starts happening, you ask yourself, where we saw? No, nobody saw it coming. Somebody saw it coming. I said nobody. I also said somebody saw it coming. I will tell you why I said somebody saw it coming. First and foremost, the 21st National Sport Festival has just ended. It's ending here, right there in Asaba, Delta State. But then, no surprises. In the past 7 editions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it has been Delta. So, and they are hosting. So what else? If they go outside to go and win, they come in with the largest contingent, with the familiarity to the facilities. Why wouldn't they win? We'll give you the tables, and then we'll ask you if the National Sport Festival has been meeting those objectives, for which they were founded since 1973. It's been a long way coming. There was some hiatuses somewhere along the line. There was a time, I think between 2012 and almost 2018 or so, nothing did happen before the FCT now decided to go and host and stuff. And then we see state hosting and asking ourselves, are we putting those facilities there? Are we getting the things? Why can two states come together? I remember there was that where we're begging Cross River to host together with Akwa Ibom so that they can put facilities together. I remember when Ife hosted Nuga. I think that was in 1984. Some of the swimming activities took place in Ibadan. It doesn't have to take place in Ife. Proximity of facilities is what we ought to put. Let's all come together, and get these things done. And that is the most important. The most important thing is the athletes. How many do we discover? How many do we nurture? How many do we take to stardom? How many do we take to say, use their talent? Use their talent to say, this is what I am going to use as a career because it's my God-given talent. If you can sing, you sing to the glory, of yourself and your family. If you can run, why can't you do that also? If you can swim, if you can box, why can't you do that? So that is what makes America, great. I mean, we all watch WWE, and I tell you this, wrestling. I was watching wrestling at Okorobo in Ajegule, and that is our traditional wrestling. But then, if it were the Americans, they will make it an entertainment that it won't just be a local sport. It will attract international viewership and patronage, and that's what we are saying here. But the other matter has to do with what is happening in Qatar, the Winter World Cup. When it came, we thought it was not going to be a reality. I mean, why change? World Cup is taking place, it does take place in summer from 1930 right down to 2018. Why take it to winter? But here we are. I think we are having a success. I must confess, we are having a success in this. But then the script I said nobody called was Morocco, Africa, getting to the semi-finals of the World Cup. I'm not saying semi-finals of the nation of AFCON. I'm saying semi-finals of the World Cup. We never saw it coming. I mean, Cameroon were almost there before England, knocked them out. Ghana were almost there before Suarez did that. His, hand of. Is it? No, it's not. I'm not saying going to be. Maradona did hand of God in coma, but I don't know what was Suarez hand. and Asamoah Gyan, the man who a night before has scored 20 penalties in training out of 20, couldn't put one in the net when it mattered most. So Morocco doing this, and the journey through to get it is what we are going to discuss today. So today we are just going to keep ourselves busy with the National Sport Festival and also the World Cup that is taking place right there in Qatar. We told you it is going to, on the 18th, will be 7 days to Christmas. Theo is here, and the man is saying there are goats and there are goats. Theo.
They are goods and they are goods. Well, you see, as I'm wearing all black today, Ken, one for the jackets, because I'm money.
You could have also worn a black jacket.
No, I just didn't want to. Good afternoon, viewers. It's good to be back and set again. Ken, for the National Sports Festival, you said it yourself, Delta State, somehow, when you take a lot of when you pack contingents to a tournament or to a competition, like the way the Americans do it at the Olympics, when you compete in almost every sport available at tournaments, it's always looking feasible that you would always do well, and then quite a number of incentives. But like you've always put it, that what comes out of it afterwards, it's not just about the National Sports Festival. It's meant to achieve something. How has our sports been? Over the past couple of years, we've seen track and field, yes, on the uprise, but we've seen wrestling in particular, actually, up and coming with Daniel Ligali and everything that he's doing there. So we'll still look at the fallout from the National Sports Festival. But for the World Cup, I'm looking at the group that had Morocco, Canada, Belgium, and Croatia. And two of those teams are currently in the semi-finals of the World Cup. Yes. And you said nobody saw you coming, but I called it here. I think it was about 2 weeks ago. Yeah. And I said, when we're talking about, the African teams that were most likely... But not here, my dad, you say Morocco in the semi-finals. That much, that would have been taking it a bit too far. Yeah, but you called it. I did. I watched the team play, and I said, Morocco can actually top this group. They can actually top this group. And they actually went on to top the group. So far, Morocco have not considered a goal from an opponent. The only goal they considered super at the World Cup was an own goal. Against Canada. And then you look at the way they've set up to play. It's a different plan, different formation for different opponents. So a lot of people are saying, they're very defensive. Not really. I watched them play against the Canadians. They played the Canadians. They played them very well. If you are playing defense, how do you score goals? My point exactly. You scored 2 goals against Belgium. You scored 2 it's only against the Spaniards that they score. And most times when you play against Spanish sides or the Spaniards, they have possession. Because they will always dominate possession. Yes. And then if you are talking about defense, well, if the certain Brazil have been able to hold on to their lead and defended the one goal that they scored, they probably would have been in the semi-finals right now. So defense actually wins you tournaments. But I'm really, really happy, and I'm so proud of what Morocco has been able to achieve. The first African team to make it to the semi-finals of the World Cup. And they might win it. It's looking very, very possible. Yes. Because, like I said, that is the man that was appointed on the 1st of September, 2022. Yes. And they were saying, why appoint him now? There is so much short time. Exactly. People were saying, why did you sack Raw? We didn't go to the World Cup because we sacked Janet Raw. This man was appointed in September of 2022 and he's taking Morocco to the semi-finals of the World Cup. And I can see, when I look up on it's not beans. It's not Gary. And look at the 4 teams that are left at the World Cup. Now, no offense to the Saudi Arabia who brought Javi Reina, the journeyman, and able to cause an upset against Argentina. But nobody has won the World Cup with a foreign coach. Now, whether you like it or not, I always say this: if you are able to give your own people the same work tools as their foreign counterparts, or as the European counterparts, because let's not forget, this tournament has been dominated by Europe and South America. But since 2002, the South American team, which is very unusual, in the last 20 years, has won the World Cup. But teams going to the World Cup, they go with coaches from their own country. It's you know what it means to lead out your country to a World Cup. That is the feeling. I just love this. I just love this picture here. The feeling. I just love this picture here. It speaks volumes. Yes. And I'm looking at the players, so proud of what they've been able to achieve. Look at their families coming in the crowd, and their mothers, their daughters, their sons. It's really, really impressive. And then, Ken, that goal was a work of art. I wish I can get that tweet from Okay. I tell you, there's nothing we want to do here. We are going straight to Qatar. Because when it is hot, you take it hot. Certain persons you know how to introduce. The other ones, they introduce themselves. Their presence alone introduce themselves. The former captain of the Super Eagles, former coach of the Super Eagles, the man who scored a fantastic goal against Spain right there in 1998. The man who captained us to 2002 World Cup, even if he wasn't there. The man who saw tomorrow. I tell you this because I'm saying it here that Theo, you said Morocco will go far. Yes. 4 years ago, Sunday Oliseh was in Malaysia. And he told them, listen to me, he said, if Morocco has the logistics that Japan have, that Morocco will be in the semi-finals of the World Cup. And you cannot, I don't know, who is that man that saw tomorrow? Nostradamus. Okay, let me introduce to you Nostradamus Sunday Oliseh. It's my Sonny, how are you?
Good afternoon. I hope you can hear me. Good afternoon.
Yeah, very clear, very, very clear. Sonny, you called it. I don't understand this. You were on a show in Malaysia 4 years ago, and you specifically, you didn't say in the Africa team. You said if Moroccans have this, what the Japanese have, that. Yeah. The athleticism, every other thing is on the. If they have the support and the finance, every other thing, Morocco will get to the semi-finals. We were talking about Morocco being the semi-finals. Why did you see that vision? I don't know. On that day, did you go to church before you went to that interview, or how? Sonny, want to hear from you.
Well, to start with, good afternoon, everybody. I think it has to do with the fact that let's give glory to God, because the wisdom one has, it's always when God puts a Midas touch on you. And I think that is really what happened at that moment. But I've always had this belief, and I still do have it, that our problem in Africa is not a question of quality. It's always been a question of organization and a question of the fact that we are our own enemies, Finally, the Moroccans, what they're achieving now, Ken, is not something that they started now. For the past 10 years, the Moroccans have been investing in infrastructure, and they've invested also in their youth program, even in their women team, their female teams. And who would have thought a female Moroccan team will ever beat a Nigerian team, So those are the things that have been going on. And 4 years ago, I saw it. I was working in Malaysia because I did the World Cup. I did the World Cup there as an analyst for them. So I was asked that question that you saw on the video, and I just made it clear, because it's my own belief. If we have the same infrastructure like these people have here, like most nations have that are serious, we can also do it. And Morocco is proving me even more than right, just 4 years after.
Anyway, Sonny, you were here in this studio, and they were saying if Morocco-Belgium match, when they do play, who were you going to support? Anyway, I'm happy that I'm happy at the outcome, and also for those of you who are watching this show, Sonny is Nigerian. His DNA is Nigerian. His blood hemoglobin is Nigerian. Everything is Nigerian. But when Sonny gets home, the food that comes from the kitchen comes from from Morocco. So, and then his other home is Belgium. From Liège to everywhere, it is Belgium that, there. So, Sonny belongs to 3 nations, and also Sonny belongs to the world. So, with Morocco playing Belgium, when this thing came out, and then we look at that group, and I say, Sonny, who are you going to support? Are you going to support Morocco? Are you going to support Belgium? Well, the result happened, and when it did happen, thank God for Sonny, because his better half was also in Qatar, and they watched that match together. So there was peace at home. Was there?
Normally, well, Ken, me and we know for some time now. You know that my family life is something I keep very private.
Yeah, I know. Sonny, I know.
The last time the world saw my wife was 27 years ago when we got married.
Okay.
So we keep our private life private.
Yeah.
But this time around, I told her when the World Cup was coming, I was coming to Qatar. I told her, I said, listen, baby, since they are playing Belgium, would you like to fly? And she said, yes. Okay. And it gave me opportunity, because my wife is not only my wife, she's my best friend.
She's your friend.
I could never have found a better mother for my kids. And the way with all my flaws and all my weaknesses, this is a woman that she knows how to handle me, and she knows how to really put me. If I'm feeling sad, she's the one who brings me up, So I felt like, okay, this time that it's really happening on the global scene, I want to have the pleasure to watch a World Cup match involving our 2 nations. One that is yours by belt, the other that's yours by nationality. Let us go and watch it together. And the woman got a time of a lifetime, because not only did she get to see the game live, Morocco won, the stadium was all red, Moroccans everywhere, and FIFA did something very nice. FIFA gave us a VIP, gave us, cars to take us in there and back, because I had to work in the evening after for the second game. So everything was really made up for her, and then Morocco won. And then, just so that you know now, then my wife said to me, she said, jokingly, she said, But listen, baby, she, she calls me Dal, like darling, Listen, Dal. What if it's possible? We can get to the semi-final. Can we win this cup? I told her, listen, winning the cup, I don't know. Semi-final is possible, but that cup you are going to forget it because it's going to be hard. So we just left it there. It was just eating and just left it there. Now she told me yesterday, what did I tell you? I said, you two don't turn you're supposed to. But really, Ken, I need to let you know what is happening here.
Yeah.
The Moroccans have gone ballistic.
Wow.
You see, what they do every game, since accommodation is not too much, every game they fly in the morning.
Wow.
They come in with the first flight by 9 a.m. In fact, our hotel becomes flooded because there are no more rooms. But they use the pool, they use the eat and that kind of thing. Then they go to watch the games. They win, they fly back by 1 a.m. So that is, and you see all of them with backpacks, the country is gone ballistic, and it's not like, you saw the king of Morocco celebrating on the street with his people. And these are people who need security. And the Moroccans, tactically, technically, physically, my brother, they are playing football. They are playing football.
Sorry, coming from you. Now let us look at it this way. Let us look at this. You are in the team of the 6 experts that FIFA selected to go on and look at the technical aspect of these games. We would have done something after the round 1, but here we are doing it at the semi-finals, and I think I love it that we are doing it at this stage. Technically. Can you let us start by assessing the 5 African teams that went to the World Cup? Can you assess them for us technically?
One thing that gladdens my heart, because it's something I've been crying for almost 20 years, is that, and I just heard it on your program now, somebody saying, no, not somebody, it was just saying that no nation has ever won the World Cup with a foreigner.
Yeah, Theo said it here.
Theo is right too. Is 100% right. That is what the record states. But also, these 5 African nations have come to the World Cup with 5 local coaches.
Yeah.
Every one of them won a game.
Exactly.
Every one of them won a game. And on the last day of the group stages, 4 of them were still en route to qualify. So they could still qualify. The best of all of them, from individual talent, Senegal. But let's face it, Senegal is not Brazil. Senegal lost Mane just a week to the competition.
Yeah.
They've not barely played 1 or 2 games. They lost Kouyaté to injury. When they played the game that eventually they went out to the English, they lost Gueye. He was suspended. And then they lost right back. So they were playing against the English team with mostly players who were not regulars in the Senegalese team, who were not regulars a month ago, the Senegalese team. And for 30 minutes, had they scored that first goal, it would have been something else.
Exactly.
So Senegal is also top. The Tunisians gave it a good fight. And even beat France on the way. You can say whatever you want to still beat France.
Yes.
So that one. And now, but my in-laws now, they have taken it to a different level. They have taken it to a different level. They have taken it to a different level. What they do now is that they lose the ball, they go compact. The compactness, as I measure it from the pitch, is always between 15 to 17 or 20 meters. That's the compactness of the whole team in height. In width, it is almost the whole pitch. No, so that means that the only way you can go through the Moroccans is to go all around them, and sometimes that might take you out of the pitch.
Can you explain that compactness again so that people can understand what you mean? You talked about
yes, true.
Okay, please.
Forgive me, I was using terms like in the technical story.
Can you just break it down? The compactness, the width, and then
Okay, and what they do is that when they lose the ball, the defenders and the defender, the last defender on the back, and the striker, they bring themselves close, and the distance that is now between the first player that is facing the ball from the opponents and the central defender is just going to be like 15 to 20 meters.
Okay.
Okay, and in between, they position themselves, and that's what we're talking about, the compactness. And in between themselves, they position themselves in a way that allows them to be in triangles. So you cannot, with one pass, beat the whole team. If you pass one line or the wall, one wall, the other wall is coming in. And then the wall that you pass is coming down to not double you from behind. But one thing that makes them so exceptional, why I say they're playing real football, is that when they win the ball back from you, they don't just balloon it away. No, they start to play. They combine. They even dribble. You know what I was missing from what we've missing from African teams. Everybody wants to pass. No, they will still dribble you and then give a pass. And there's one player who is doing what I used to do for the Super Eagles. Amrabat. He just sits in front of the defense. He's winning all the balls and he's running the show from there. So when they need to put his feet, he puts his feet in. When he needs to win the ball, and sometimes he will go on a solo run and give a pass. They are so complementary that it's a problem to break them.
Okay. Glorying technical abilities of the African teams managed by the African managers.
Coaches.
I was watching a show this morning, and then they were talking about England, after their ouster, and they said Gareth Southgate is going to the other hotel, where we have a large contingent. Sonny, when I heard about the large contingent, I imagined our own contingent, and I'm sorry that nobody goes from here. But from the breakdown of that contingent, they're saying all the coaches in the national team, all the junior coaches, all their support staff, everybody were all in Qatar. Can an African team, can your team, my team, Nigerian, can we afford, apart from probably attitudinal change, you understand, to move from administrators to the technical bench, can we afford to have that team of sending, our junior coaches, every other person right there to go to major tournaments and learn? You will answer this after we come back from the break, because we're going to go on a very short break. I will come back to you. It is Channel Sport on Sunday. We have Sunday Oliseh right there in Qatar, one of the 6 technical experts, and is giving it to us technically on Channel Sport on Sunday. Stay with us. All right, you're welcome back. I'm in the studio right here with Theophilus Agbola. We call him the Catalan. And right there in Qatar, you can't have a better guest on this show than one of the ones chosen by FIFA to say, you are the experts, 6 of you, come in, analyze each game, and at the end of the competition, you give us your report. So what we are getting is Expo. We are getting ahead of what others are going to get it. But Sonny is there. Sonny, are you there?
I'm here.
Yes.
I'm here.
Okay. That's this former manager of the Super Eagles, former captain of the Super Eagles. One of the, how do I say it, the first team that qualified us for the World Cup in 1994, won the Nations Cup in 1994, won the Olympic gold medal in 1996. It's always been, I don't know, sometimes you want to describe him. I think he's synonymous, himself and Stephen Keshi. I don't know how you want to describe both of them, because like the signature of Nigeria, football is, you look at it, all the successes are there, and then you can't get Sunday Oliseh out of it. And right now, FIFA has recognized who he is, what he can do, and is right there representing us very, very well. Sonny, maybe in the course of this discussion, I know we are holding you tight. We might take 1 or 2 calls if it is possible. I hope if you don't mind. But then let us see if you can at least ask you the question of taking in our FA or any African FA going with a bulk of the technical team, from the junior teams and Euro teams, so that they can go to competitions and learn. That is what England has just done. They were saying Southgate was going to tell them thank you before they depart. So he was crossing from his own hotel to the other hotel. So they said a large contingent that made up of those things. I mean, is that a change of mindset? Can we have that change of mindset? Can we afford it even if we have to do that?
Well, the question is, if you don't afford to have a change of mindset, we'll continue to suffer like we're suffering. Let's stop. We beat around the bush a lot. If you've never played football at the high level, if you've never studied football, if you've never really had technical knowledge of the game, and the tactical knowledge of the game, you can do what you want. Eventually, you will lose. You will lose. Because this coach that you see now that is showing wonders in Morocco,
yeah,
he already done well in the Champions League in Africa.
Yeah.
But imagine he's even though he's had problems finding a club outside Europe and things like that. Now, even a colleague of mine was saying maybe he might even go back now after this World Cup and still not find a club in Europe. You know, so the thing there is we keep deceiving ourselves, and somehow I don't know why we have this belief that it's just by chance or that you make a team or that you are a good player, that kind of thing. No, it's not like that. One, to succeed as a football player or as a team or as a nation, it takes planning, it takes expertise, it takes preparation, it takes also the will to want to achieve. Well, like one of my friends says, he said, in Nigeria, it is not workshop, it is workshop. Okay, it is where you work, you eat. I agree. But you cannot eat where you're working to the detriment of everybody. Except for yourself.
Yeah.
Except for yourself. That's not how it works. You work, you eat, but at the same time to live enough so that the work itself will go well, so that the people will go well. You know, and that is what is killing us. If you look now, as at the moment now, I might not stay long because we are holding a meeting now with the technical, with Arsene Wenger and the technical directors of all the confederations from the world. So we are going to have the confederations from the UEFA for Europe. CAF one is there. You know, we're all going to meet them now, and they have all come here. They've been taking notes. And the federations, the countries' federations from Africa, they've all been here. Their technical directors, even some of the coaches, they've been taking notes. They'll be going to watch training sessions. They'll be going to do things. What are they all doing now? There are some trends that are coming up. We will release it to the world on World Cup is ending on 18th. On Sunday.
Yeah.
On Sunday, but we are releasing it, some of it to the world already on Wednesday.
On Wednesday.
You know, the trends that are already coming out now, that we have seen in this tournament. And that is the next step the football has taken. Now, the fact that we did not qualify for this World Cup, that means that we are already behind the trends that were before this World Cup. So that means that if we don't pick up those trends that are coming now, that we have all found out now, that are the trends, and that's where the football is going to go for the next 4 years, that means that even if we play Morocco now, forget it. We have no chance.
Okay.
If we play Senegal,
we have no chance. Can we take this call? Can we have a caller online? Let us know what he's going to say. Okay. Olaf, let's have you.
You are welcome.
Yeah. Okay.
Michael.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming back. I really appreciate you to a technical somebody like this. Please, I want to appeal to your management and make sure that this Sunday Oliseh come back next Sunday to continue this analysis and technical.
All right, thank you.
I believe the way the Sunday match, I watch match too, and I really appreciate. If you see what the coach of Morocco done, the way this Sunday told us now, the coach told us now, I really understand the system because the system works for them, and I really appreciate Sunday. Why? If you want to know is somebody, you have to explain to us now. Is the true matter of how the Morocco way? I'm straight to God. Because if you see the defense, the coach work on that defense. I mean, in fact, please, I want the management to your station to continue with Sunday Oliseh.
Okay, I hope we can afford it.
We are Nigeria pay. It's a pay for Africa. Please, Sunday, if the truth, if Nigeria qualify, I believe if you see a good coach, don't forget Sunday Oliseh. I will tell you what. Against Spain, this goal of that Sunday Oliseh is still in my my phone today. When I read the book, I read the Sunday Oliseh book. Please.
All right, thank you very much. Oh, I will not have much time. We have to. Sonny, we just begged him to come out, and he will still leave. So we will take one or two calls while Sonny is trying to explain to us. Sonny, I know next week Sunday, I don't know how it's going to look like. That is the World Cup final, so I don't know the time you are going to have. But then, like Oliver Twist, I always want to have you, right down here. But then, let us. While you are on this, okay, you talked a lot about Morocco. Not a lot about Morocco. Let us look at the other three teams that are in the semi-finals. What do you think took them there? France, like you said, Senegal lost a lot of players. N'Golo Kante was out. Boba was out. The World Footballer of the Year, Karim Benzema, Fernandes were out, and we thought France wouldn't go far. What is the magic beyond, behind France's success so far, defending champions, and they're already in the semi-finals?
Ken, I'm going to answer this, but then I have to go because I can't afford to be late. So,
okay, all right. Yeah.
And not Nigeria with it. So the thing there is this: for France to come this far, it's very, very simple. France has arguably the best player in the world at the moment, in Mbappe. The team is built around him, and the man, when I watch him play in the stadium, because I've done many of his games, the man plays as if he's on gears. He goes to gear 1. If you meet up, he goes to gear 2. You meet up, he goes to gear 3, and then 4. He's like that. The team is built around them. The team is the most talented team in the tournament, but they still have to confirm it. The Argentines, you might like Messi or you don't like Messi. The guy has been the one carrying them. He has been he's been the one who has made the difference for the teams, for the Argentines. And the Argentines, after they lost to Saudi Arabia, they got their act together. They're a little better compact, and they move in a better way. But Messi is still pulling the strings. The Croatians, look, I would not advise anybody to bet against them because this is a team that is, in my opinion, okay, you're going to read it in my report anyway, they have the best midfield in the tournament. And people were saying they are surprised that they beat Brazil. Look, Croatia has a former World Player of the Year in their ranks, the best player in the world in their ranks, Modric. Brazil does not even have one that is second, even though they were flashy. So that one allows to tell you that they are modest, but they are very good. So for me, personally, let's not deceive ourselves. If we're going to succeed in Nigeria, it is the time now. I have helped to give them a master plan. But of course, it's not all what I propose that is on that master plan. In the future, I'll patiently wait. When the right situation is there, I will give them another master plan again that will help Nigeria get forward. But I just pray that this time they will listen. I have to go, people. Otherwise,
it's a pleasure, son. It's a pleasure. But we will call on you always. And on Sunday, if we can steal you, who says we shouldn't do that? Thank you very much, son. It's always a pleasure.
You should speak to my queen, to my madam.
I will do that. I will do that, Sonny. Yeah. Thank you, Sonny. Thank you so much. Go and represent us. Go and represent Nigeria, and then come back here and give us those things. You can't take it better there.
Exactly.
You said underrate
Croatia
at your own peril.
Yes. And you see, Ken, they watched the game against Japan. They came from a goal down.
The lines are still open. The lines are still open. Join this show. Be part of this. You had Sunday Oliseh. Let's have your take in the World Cup. Let's have what you feel about Morocco getting to the semi-finals. We'll also talk about the National Sport Festival. I mean, it is our own Olympics. It has just ended. And then what do we learn from there? Can we get world beaters? Can we dominate in France when we go to Paris in the next Olympics? From the athletes that we have discovered, from the goals that we have garnered, can those goals translate to world records? And that can we have a lot more of Toby Amusons from what we have just seen in the past few days right there in Asaba? The lines are open. Let us take Nigerian sport to the highest level. Like Mbappe plays from gear to gear, let's move from gear 1 to 2. And then maybe by the time we get to automatic, we can just be flying.
All right. So as I look at the game against Japan, they conceded first. Somehow they switch gears and then they are back in the game. Yeah. Now, Croatia are no strangers to penalties. And I think
they are not. No, Croatia is. They should rename penalties.
Exactly.
World Cup penalties. They should rename it Croatia. When it's time to say Croatia,
yeah, because when it's time to take PKs, they somehow exactly putting them on their flat on their backs and making them cry. It happened. And unfortunately, it happened to one of my favorite players, Neymar. But he scored a wonderful goal.
A beautiful goal. Even in the same game.
Yes, in the same game, yes. He scored a beautiful goal. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough because the Croatians, not like they did against Japan, he came back again. See, taking the games to penalty is not a thing to be ashamed of. Tell if you're coming up against a team like Brazil that have players in their ranks that can beat a man 1v1 with ease. But like Sunday rightly puts it, they have a very, very standard midfield. Look at Modric in that midfield. Look at Brozovic in the midfield as well. And the way they move the ball around, they have a very, very commanding presence, Ken. And then they understand themselves very well. It's almost telepathic. So when you're coming up against a team like that, you need to actually step into an extra gear so that you will stand a chance against them. They were in the finals of the World Cup 4 years ago, and for good reason, because they deserve to be there. And if you underrate them again, they'll make it there as well again this year.
All right, let's go to
Georgia.
Akin
is calling from Georgia.
Hello, Akin.
Hello, Ken.
Akin, how are you?
Thank you. Fine, thank you. Thank you for taking early to always watch your program from here. Yeah. And I appreciate you bringing Sunday Oliseh today.
Yeah.
One thing about Sunday Oliseh is that he's frank. He's not afraid of anybody, and he knows. Been following soccer, especially World Cup since 19. I tell you, Nigeria lost its way when we failed to concentrate on youth development. And the moment we diverted away from that path, we started losing. Most Nigerians being developed by foreign nations, and they are playing for foreign nations. You can see the Science and all those people playing for other countries. But we still have talent in Nigeria. The plan that Sunday Oliseh gave to this, executing such plans, why can't we have access to it and we can put pressure on government? You are doing your part as a sport journalist. You are exposing our flaws by bringing in the talents that outside world that we were not appreciated back home. That's Sunday Oliseh. People recognize him, but if Sunday Oliseh comes to the sport ministry, he will have to go through one director, from one director to the other director, to another director, and that's how we look. So I will encourage you to bring him back always, and others like him. It's not only him in Nigeria. Nigerians are good. We have talent with our population. We can dominate Brazil or any other nation.
Yeah.
We have the grit.
Exactly.
But what spoils most away for the team, and they will now have to flex and give some paper journalists to write stories in the newspaper and promote them. But the real thing is that we need to go back to the basics. Youth development. If we have one good stadium in every capital of the state, we have sports stadia that people can go to, and students of secondary schools, colleges or universities can actually train with coaches attached to them. We will have youth development programs that will project this talent to the national level, and that's where you can have the likes of with the technical know-how, Nigeria will actually benefit, and now is the time to start preparing for the next World Cup, or even 2 World Cups away, if we are really serious as a nation. Thank you very much, Ken.
Thank you very much, Akin. Thank you very much. Akin just called us there from Atlanta, Georgia, in the United States of America. We keep them awake. We're so grateful to you guys over there because the way you religiously follow this show, give us that hope that probably what we are doing is a bit okay, and we promise not to disappoint you, to always give you as it is.
When somebody stays awake. To watch you. I was going to revert back to something Sonny said. He talked about the fact that there are emerging trends now in the game that obviously they'll be made known as a member of the technical committee. They are the best position to know this. Will be made known to the public very soon.
Yes.
And that our absence at the World Cup means that already we have fallen behind. So we have to find a way to catch
We'll
up.
go find that report.
Yeah, we need to. No, but the thing is this, Ken.
I have some of the report. Anyway.
There's a reason why the South Americans used to dominate and win the World Cup in the past. Then all of a sudden we saw a gravitational shift away from South America all the way down to Europe. Since 2002, this year makes it 20 years. I watched Brazil lift the World Cup in 2002, but since then it's been Europe all the way.
Yeah.
You know, even up on you get to the semi-finals, it's always 3 European teams, probably 1 South American team, never an African team. Now there is another change now. We have 2 European teams, 1 South American team, and 1 African team in the semi-finals of the World Cup. He made mention of how Morocco started this. It didn't start yesterday. It started 10 years ago. It means that somebody somewhere decided to make a deliberate and intentional plan to move the country's football forward and not keep it in the doldrums. Somehow we always say we discovered that we were unable to put our own coaches, our own homegrown coaches in the team. But
this time Africa took the gauntlet and sent 5 coaches.
You understand? 5 coaches.
Without an exception.
Without an exception.
Ghana brought in Ado. They sacked him because they said go. Morocco brought in Regriga.
Yes.
Cameroon brought in Song.
And you see, say, it's you know wait. Okay, we have a call.
Felix. Hello, Felix.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good afternoon, Ken.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Fine, no. Ajeta.
Dele.
Come out.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm calling with respect to the issue on discussion.
Okay.
In particular, to the national sport.
All right.
Just ended in Asaba.
Yeah.
I believe that the Ministry of Sports can have a program where they were able to translate the success of this program and see how to impute that into the. You can't tell me that a state like Delta won over 650 something medals, and other states as well, Bayelsa, Edo, and other states. And when we get to the Olympics, we're not able to win a gold medal or 2 gold medals. So I believe there's need for long-term planning, development planning, such a way that we're able to translate most of these national sports festival programs into the Olympics. The talents discovered in the National Sports Festival into the Olympic program.
Yeah.
You can see the likes of Tosi and Musa and others that are doing us proud. We need the development program in Nigeria to enable successes in the Olympics. To the Olympic, our expectations are dashed. That should not be the case. When we have laid down programs, trainings upon trainings that will expose the local players, the local athletes, they'll be able to do well when they get to the international stage.
Okay. Thank you very much.
What Morocco is doing.
Yeah.
I can remember the days of youth fund and the days where we had so many youth programs, talent programs. We had different and from those training programs, we were able to develop and get players into the under-17 national team, into the under-20 national team, and you see the progression Nigeria makes. If you watch the trend in Nigeria for the under-17 World Cup, we have our team qualified for under-20 World Cup and probably the Olympics too. You'll find that within a space of 4 years, where we have qualification for those major world events, it has a way of trickling and impacting on our national team.
Exactly.
So we want to go back to the grassroots. They need to go back to the grassroots to develop the grassroots from which we will now build our national team. I must say that the effect of bringing the foreign players that some of them never had any connection with Nigeria. So when the chips are down, they don't really play for the country to die for Nigeria on the field of play.
Thank you very much,
it is only the local players that I and you know, everybody know, that can give us that level of commitment. Same way with our coaching. The foreign coaches are also not helping us.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So that others can also contribute. I truly appreciate your contribution to the show. Like you said, we started somewhere before 85 and co. We were going to all those Dana Cup in Denmark, King's Cup in Brazil, and every other one. And it's from that Tony Eke got the Youth Sport Federation of Nigeria. And by the time we went to the World Cup in 1985, the Ntuka Bades of this world, Fataya Teres of this world, were already there, rubbing shoulder, with the kids from other parts of the world. They were exposed through those youth tournaments before going to the FIFA under 16. Because then it was the first edition was the under 16. The Qatar Cup before it became under 17. So that's what Felix is talking about here.
I think also you also have to look at the English team, for instance. You're looking at the likes of Phil Foden, Bukayo Saka, Marcus Rashford, Jude Bellingham.
2017.
Yeah,
they won the World Cup.
So these are guys that actually came through the ranks. And for the past couple of years, I used to grow up watching the Nigerian on the 17, on the 20 going for competition. All of a sudden, it seems like we can't even hack it anymore. What is going on? What is wrong with our football? Okay.
All right. I think probably maybe we might just go for a very short break, and then when we come back, we shall hear from the National Sport Festival. Igali saying, "It's like the medals you are giving me. I don't know if I want them more." Just stay with us.
Team Bayelsa. Congratulations! All right, DJ. Unprecedented in history. 115 silver, also unprecedented in history, and 90 bronze medals, equally unprecedented in the history of. So, we are winning by the grace of God. Area. Sabo. DJ.
We worked extremely hard for this as a team, and I want to use this opportunity to thank the sports-loving Bayelsans, His Excellency Senator Doyediri, and our Deputy Governor, Senator Lawrence Erichako, for the massive support we got to get these results.
All right, welcome back. Anyway, it's in Nigeria, so guys, just calm down. It's either you accept it or you don't. Igali, there's that 23. Maybe I can take it on your behalf. Just give me the that 23 good. I know that some of those gold are worth over 300,000, 200,000 are good. So I'll just come to Bayelsa, and you keep the 109. Then the 23 I made 132. Just give. I'm your friend. Give it to me. So when Governor Diri is giving those things out, you just say I can. Take this. Okpe is in the house. Okpe, you welcome to the show.
Thanks, Ken, for having me. But Ken, honestly, I can do it with a margin of plus or minus 5% if there will be room for error. I give you an instance. 2000, Unilag hosted the Nuga Games, and Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University was given 0 as gold medal. But I recall, because I was there when they beat ABU in the volleyball men final. So they got a gold medal. I had to go back. The late Dickin Oshitelu was the head of media. God bless his soul. And I told him, sir, ATBU won a gold medal in volleyball. He said, oh, my boy, God bless you. And immediately, despite the final result, they had to amend it there and give them that gold medal. Again, we have some states, they will properly, because the whole reception, which was why the disabled para-athletes said no, they wanted to have it together. When they hold the reception, they will list each medalist. So I wonder if this thing was actually tallied up, how is it that they will put anonymous against medal? Because I've seen the compendium for certain states who host reception, and they will list each and every single medalist. So let's see how it goes.
Anyway, Igali is going to say, I've told you that this one, if Asaba, they awarded the extra 23 gold medal, you don't want it, don't worry, I will accept it on behalf. And then he said you guys want 102 silver and not 115. So that means extra 13 silver. There is no problem about that one. Just keep it somewhere. If Alice and other friends of this house, we'll bring the best. We'll bring the best. As you just always say, always bring people like Igali here to talk on not just on themselves, but the way forward. If you want to talk success, you meet those who have succeeded, so they will tell you their story. It's just their success story, how he's always doing it, and that is why you see we are captivated by that. I will bring him down here. So, Okpe, okay, you missed the Oliseh interview, but let us have your take. How do you see your generally what is happening in Qatar?
Yeah, from the one I call it the unusual World Cup.
Okay.
And for the life in me, I thought the Dutch were going to actually do it this time.
Yeah, you call it Dutch.
And while
he keeps rubbing it in. He keeps rubbing it in because he said Morocco.
While under pressure, you could see the reason why I was actually thinking the Dutch were going to get it this time.
They were almost there.
They had a manager who was ready to, this was his swan song, he was ready to give something back to the world. And at a point, he had to resort back to those pattern footballs of those days, long balls. Where if you had
short Argentine
players, and for a long time,
that's what Messi said.
Yeah, for a long time you had a united Dutch team, something that has never happened, and that was why I was saying even Memphis Depay was someone you could kiss in the mouth.
Yes.
So you had a very united team, and I thought, it could just be the Dutch.
Is it a reform Louis Van Gaal? Because that was not the same Van Gaal that told Charito that he has 1% chance of winning it.
No. At a point, he said something about Man U that people should go to a proper football clubs, not commercial clubs. So, but
he went to a commercial club.
Yeah, he went there and he had to advise ETH, everything like that. Look, if you want to continue this trend, this trajectory, look for a proper football club where you develop yourself and your
Ten Hag has done that in Ajax, so I mean, it's time for him to benefit from his development.
Ken, having said that, I think the timing of the World Cup also play a part in the kind of result we have seen. Okay. I think that is part of what we are actually seeing.
I agree with you on that.
We can take nothing away from these 4 finalists. Talk about the Moroccans who have considered just one goal. And they scored Nigeria own goal. So nobody has breathed their defense. No foreigner has actually done that. Talk again about the Croats where they left off last season. They play even in 2018 more like the Porto of Mourinho in 2003. Yeah. You always see them. They might not come at you, but you cannot beat them. And again, it just tells you how far, again, because you also have to meet the Super Eagles. The 2 guys in our group last year, basically almost the same setup, apart from Argentina, who have a Linus Scaloni as coach. They are in the.
We had Croatia in 20.
And Argentina, Argentina group, and we have this.
It was only Iceland.
You have the French. Also, just never die, and they actually showed their true color yesterday against the English team, and they had a very lackluster second half. But again, they were ready to collect the cards, and I think this tournament you have to play ugly to actually.
You didn't talk about Argentina.
Yes, no. 90 it was Maradona and 10 Robert, and I think again this season. Look at that pass.
Oh God!
That is visionary.
Maradona's pass, his dribble to deliver those assists in '86 was you could actually it's like Nadal.
Buruchaga.
You could see Nadal when Nadal with all his strength, but Messi was like that state man who was where nobody was. What we're not seeing.
Everybody was looking at the other side.
The TV camera were not seeing.
Yes.
He actually threw that pass, which was more like the pass Argentina Maradona gave Puchaga against Brazil.
Maradona to Puchaga. That's the pass.
So I think the highlight of the Argentine team, apart from their coach, who they have so much implicit confidence in, I think he just Lionel Messi.
Okay, the lines are still open up in the house, and then so we still want to hear from you. But let us break this down. Let us break this down so you can understand how it is in Naira and Kobo. But then when you talk football, international football, you talk dollars. All the 32 teams that went to the World Cup, as you get there, you have $9 million. Now, but before you get there, they will give you 1.5 million. So on getting there, you mean you have 11.5 million. So when you, after playing just like Cameroon and Ghana and Tunisia, if you don't go beyond the first round, you go home with that $11.5 million. That's what you go home with. Then when you enter second round, just like Senegal and Morocco, you now have $13 million. So that is what they have. So Senegal went home with $13 million. Add that 1.5 million, that is $14.5 million. When you enter into the quarterfinals, you know, you graduate from 14 to $17 million. So Morocco had $17 million, but they said it was not enough. So Morocco now entered into the semi-finals. And then from that end, that it is Gidigba, 25 million. That is, if you come fourth, 25 million. If you come third, 27 million. So the semi-finalists, if you don't enter the final, you are guaranteed between 25 and 27 million. When you now enter the final, Uncle, 30 million if you lose. For the 30 years that will come in the final, you'll still be calculating 30 million. But then if you leave the trophy, they say you are joyous and you are happy, $42 million. Do you get that? 42 for the winner, second place is 30, third place is 27, fourth place is 25, quarterfinalists all go home with 17, second round go home with 14, and then, yes, all the participants go home with 11.5 million. That is what we have lost. So Morocco is guaranteed a minimum of $25 million. That could have done a lot for Nigeria football.
11 billion naira.
Okay, 11 billion at official rate. You see, when you have an accountant in the house, when you have a banker, in the house, you don't even need calculator. He has already designed this. What call it again?
11 billion. 11
at
billion
the official rate. At official rate. Yeah. Anyway, the budget of the NFF that comes from the ministry every year is about 1.2 billion. So that is about 10 years. That is about 10 years budget is what the Morocco. They already have facilities. They already have a lot. Look at the facility in Morocco. Now they have an
Ken, the facilities did not drop. They worked towards facilities. Yes. And I was reading something where they said after the French started their football center, 10 years after they won the World Cup. Yeah. This year will be 10 years after the St. George's Park. For the English national team, they had but again you could see the trajectory from the age grade setup to the female champions everywhere, and even the male team. They never played the Euro final before. They played it last year.
World Cup semi-final,
Euro final, and then now they left everything on the pitch. So I think the center did not just come up. They planned towards it.
There's no shame in losing to that French team that I saw. play yesterday because at very large spells in the second half, England dominated that game, but for the minutes,
let's now talk about what is happening on Tuesday and Wednesday. Argentina taking on the Croatians.
Ken,
the lines are still open, please, so that we can hear your predictions.
Ken, Skipo said it when we spoke to him.
On the rate.
Akwe said it as well. See, the Croatian team, whether you like it or not, they have a former FIFA Footballer of the Year playing in their ranks.
Yes.
They were in the finals of the World Cup the last time out. And let's not forget, this same Croatian team beat Argentina in the group stages of the World Cup in 2018.
Yes.
So mentally, they already have won over Argentina. But you're playing against an Argentine team that has Lionel Messi. He's Lionel Messi, but like where rightly put it, he's an elder statesman. So he's not the Messi that we used to know. It's just that, yes, if you underrate him, it will be at your own peril. I think we're going to be set for a very, very interesting game between two sides that are very, very technical. And with just one pass of the ball can change the entire trajectory of the whole game. I, for one, want to give that game to Argentina for obvious reasons. But at the end of the day, Ken, it's Croatia we are talking about. And I think they would have revenge on their mind because they believe that they will most likely they'll play France in the final. And France deprived them of winning the World Cup in 2018. So
it might be just like 86-90. Germany, Argentina.
So it's looking, it might look just like that. But I just want to believe this might be Messi's swan song, his last dance, and hopefully
the Moroccans can go all the way.
Yeah,
they're taking on France.
Something I was happy for yesterday was when I saw they will be playing the French instead of the English. For the Moroccans against the English, I don't think they will have stood any chance. But against the French team, because, you know, it's like this team in the neighborhood. People like England, Scotland, all those derby, England, Scotland, Wales, you know yourselves. The Moroccans, by the virtue of where they were geographically
Mediterranean.
Yes, so all the French, Portuguese, the Iberians, so they are like one same of the same. So there will not be so much respect for that French team. Yes. And the French team is a team that is ready to collect card. So the Moroccan team also, they are ready to collect. So it's easier for the Moroccan side playing this French team than playing the English team. So I think they have a better chance of going to the final against the French.
Kylian Mbappe.
No. Kylian is there. Is
the Kylian factor
about the
best,
killing factor about the best player at this tournament. But it was turning Clean Walker at will yesterday. But again, they were able. The English were lucky that his last balls were not wasted. Yes. So. But again, the Moroccans, they have that absolute belief in themselves. And as I said, you are looking at Kylian as Kylian Mbappe. They are looking at him as any other boy in the neighborhood. So I think they will. The French will suit their game better.
There is a new boy in the neighborhood. In the neighborhood. That boy in the neighborhood. Kylian Mbappe. Oliseh said the guy plays as if he is in gears. They start from gear 1. Gear 2. Yes, they were trying to stop him. He could have easily gone down.
And we're all looking for that matchup between the both of them because they're both sprinters.
Yes.
But, man.
You thought the guy said, I'm not going down. I'm still going to have the ball. Yeah. That is the kind of confidence he has. I think it pained me that Haaland, didn't have the opportunity to come to the World Cup. So we can see the matchup between both of them. They might end up playing for the same team.
Ken, the Qataris are hosting the World Cup, and Mbappe is already like the star of the Qatar 2002 World Cup. So I don't see the Qatar. It's easier for Mbappe to head up in the Qatari league than leaving a Qatari-funded club for the English league.
Okay, let's take it from you. Let us. We are going home.
Oh, it's good that at long last, we had the National Sport Festival. Let's take it off from there.
Let them rectify the medals table, please. It's an embarrassment.
By the time we'll come back to you on Sunday, you guys just get ready because it is going to be the People's Sunday. You are going to tell us who is going to win the World Cup. It's going to be 7 days to Christmas. Get ready. How else do we do that? It is Channel Sport on Sunday. I'm Ken Ochonogo. Have a blessed Sunday.